Want to talk about a recurring theme we've been talking about for a long, long time since the very beginning. LeBron and the real King James. And who can forget when LeBron won the first ever finals for the Cavaliers on June 19th against Steph Curry, who was born in the same Akron hospital as LeBron, but LeBron won that finals on the real King James's birthday, June 19th, the first ever team to come back from down 3-1 in the finals. And that was right after the Warriors had come back from 3-1 down in the Western Conference Finals against the Thunder back when Durant was on the Thunder. But LeBron and King James. And before that happened, since that happened, we've talked about these major tributes in sports that are so obviously paying tribute to King James. And I want you to see how they script all the sports leagues together. Again, we've been talking about these same things the whole time, how all of sports are scripted, how the rituals come together, and how the numbers tell the story. So the other night, this was April 27th, home teams came in 15-4 for the season, and the last home team to lose was LeBron losing to the Nuggets. Now, when you write out King James, if you're new here, Gematria, it's the simple practice of coding numbers into words. It's based on the alphabetic order forwards. King James is 89 like that. You remember when the Warriors lost with 89 points to LeBron on the real King James' birthday. Of course, there's 89 chapters in the gospel, and religion's 89. But King James is 89 forwards, 35 with numerology. So many rituals with LeBron and 35 over the years. King James is 154 in reverse. You guys might recall when James Hardy, the receiver, died and was found floating dead in the Indiana River as LeBron was having a playoff series against the Pacers, who he was advancing over. It was all about 154. RIP to James Hardy. But King James, 154 in reverse, and then 55 in reverse numerology. Anyhow, LeBron lost to the Nuggets and made home teams 15-4 in the playoffs. And I'm going to show you how they connected all of these things. If you do not know what the name Doubleday is, notice how Doubleday is a lot like King James, right? It's 89, 35, 154. Abner Doubleday is who American baseball is credited to. And back in the day, the baseball season was 154 games. They did change it to 162, and baseball's 162. It's also 54 forwards, like there's 54 outs in a game. And Major League Baseball's also 162. But we're focused on the 154, the classic baseball number. So look at what was going on. Again, Doubleday 154, King James 154, if I can spell here. Home teams fall to 15-4, and at the same time that home teams fall to 15-4, the Dodgers beat the Nationals that night. How many times have I told you guys the Dodgers are the 73 team? Again, their season synced with Steve Garvey, the former Dodgers star player who's running for Senate. The Dodgers become the first preseason game of the year was the Dodgers beating the Padres 14-1 before the Dodgers' 141st season. But that game was 73 days from Steve Garvey's birthday. Los Angeles Dodgers is 73. They're playing in the nation's capital. Steve Garvey anticipating becoming a senator. They become 7-3 away there. But on the same night that home teams become 15-4 in the NBA, notice the Dodgers become 16-11 overall in this symbolic game. And go back and watch. I've been telling you guys about Steve Garvey running for federal office, the Dodgers season. I'm trying to show you again what I've been saying all these years, how it's all scripted together. The politics, the sports. DC is known as the Masonic City. King James was a Freemason. All the American sports are credited to Masons. But the Dodgers becoming 16-11 on the night that home teams fall to 15-4 in the King James tribute, that's just obvious, right? Because the King James Bible came out in the year 1611. Okay? So there's this connection with King James and baseball through the number 154, King James 1611. We follow, right? Where these things come together. We're not done because we're going to go to the LA Kings in hockey with the two Wayne Gretzky teams playing each other, the Oilers and the Kings. I want you to see something, though, because it's about last night's games. You see how Holy Bible equates to 45 forwards and backwards? Holy Bible, 45 forwards and backwards. Last night with the Lakers beating the Nuggets, home teams became 19-7 in the NBA playoffs. 197 is the 45th prime number. Something could happen in baseball today that will foretell Super Bowl 59. You might want to join the Patreon to get more information on that. But it has a lot to do with things we're talking about right now. It'll be the nth time we'll have been able to call the Super Bowl off of something that happened in the baseball season. Because, again, all these sports leagues are scripted together. All right, so just to make sure we're following. So, again, Dodgers hit the 16-11, the King James Bible number. The night home teams fall to 15-4 with LeBron being that last home loss. And there's other things about the Nationals record that you could add in. They fell to 10-14, a bit like 114. LeBron James is 114. They fell to 4-8 at home. James is 48. The Dodgers stayed on 119 losses versus the Nationals. You know how the Lakers stayed alive by winning with 119 last night? I mean, we've talked about this number with many LeBron rituals over the years. King James Bible's 119, right? So this is all in the same game. King James Bible 119. They stay on 119 losses versus the Nationals. Becomes 16-11 the year the King James Bible's published. Again, you got to think about how the whole season for everyone has to be scripted to make these things line up day after day, and they are. And the sports fan will be like, well, what about that great catch or the home run? Or just stop. Just pay attention to the numbers and the rituals day after day, and you'll see that it's scripted, okay? Don't ask about all these what ifs, and just look at what is. Here's what is. I'm showing you what is. Day in, day out, year after year, talking about the same stuff over and over. And notice the Dodgers did get their 137th win in that game. That's the 33rd prime, right? Bible has the 33. Notice James. Remember, King James has a Bible. James, 33. LeBron's even got the 33. Remember when Cleveland came back and won on the real King James's birthday? Cleveland's 33. They were the 33rd team to be down 1-3, the first to come back and win. So, and by the way, you notice the Dodgers won that game 2-1 as well, right? Just coming back to the Bible thing, because it's a huge tribute to history and the King James Bible. And year after year, they love to use this Bible as a playbook in their rigged sports rituals, their rigged news rituals. But yeah, just the symbolism. The Dodgers also got their 137th win, which again is the 33rd prime. And what a symbolic win over Washington, D.C. I mean, Washington, D.C. is 137, right? So you see how perfectly coordinated this is. You guys might recall the 115th World Series before the Nationals had even clinched a playoff spot. They had to sweep the end of the year. We had the Nationals to sweep the end of the year, and we had the Nationals to sneak in the playoffs and beat the Astros in Game 7 before the playoffs were even set. But if you go back and look at the night that the Nationals beat the Astros in Game 7, they gave the Astros their 57th postseason loss in that winning that World Series. World Series equals 57, like Nationals equals 57. Like last year, Bochy got his 57th win in the World Series. But the point I'm making is if you go back to that, go look at the box scores from that night. The night that the Nationals beat the Astros in the NBA, you had DC and Houston also playing in the NBA back when Harden was on the Rockets. And Mike D'Antoni was the coach of the Rockets then, and he got his career win that night that was the 115th prime number as the Nationals won the 115th World Series, perfectly synced with Donald Trump, who took office with the 115th Congress. So, again, here now we're talking about the Steve Garvey campaign, just the sports leagues coming together, the high ritual in the nation's capital, the Masonic city, when again, King James was a Freemason. This Freemasonry thing goes back. Freemasonry is based in Kabbalah. This whole thing of letters and numbers comes from Kabbalah. There's the tribute to Kabbalah in Genesis 3:2 in the Bible that most people will overlook because they're not familiar with Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, which has 3 pillars and 22 paths. But okay, here's the hockey piece now. The hockey piece. The Dodgers and the Lakers sync it up. And then the third LA team was the Kings. And you see how the Kings were 117 and 153? In their very next game, they lost, which we were anticipating, because then they fell to 117 and 154. And notice, again, we talked about where 154 fits in with baseball. Oh, by the way, When LeBron and home teams fell to 15-4, that game was 117 days after LeBron's birthday. Okay. And then on what's typically the 117th day of the year, the Kings fall to 117 and 154. So, Major League Baseball, remember this was the number last year that gave us the Rangers with 50-1 odds on opening day, the 117. It's a big one. Major League Baseball 117. Okay? Abner Doubleday with the 154 connection. So you see this 117, 154 ritual with LeBron. Then you see it with the Kings, LA Kings, while King James is playing in LA. And then you have the Dodgers getting to 16-11. Notice the Kings and the Lakers lost and the Dodgers won. So they're right now things are in favor for them out of this narrative. So these are the things you have to keep track of for your futures and where seasons could be going. But yeah, this is a major ritual between all three sports, and recognizing the pattern and understanding what the numbers mean is, and then, we liked Edmonton to beat the Kings, and then they kicked their ass. They beat them 6-1. They smoked the Kings 6-1. Los Angeles Kings, of course, is 61. And again, you learn the knowledge, you see through the numbers. So 117, 154, baseball numbers connected to LeBron, connected to the Kings, connected to the Dodgers, all happening within 24 hours of each other. And again, you pay attention, you see that this stuff goes on day after day. I just always love to make the examples of LeBron because LeBron's such a spectacle. He's the biggest sports star of the 21st century. And that's also why all the leagues are literally scripted around him in the time of the 21st century. Last night, I put out the video at the beginning of the game, and notice, Cavs, LeBron's old team, lose with 89 points. King James, 89. The word king alone is 23. Magic win by 23. Last game on the slate, the King trying to stay alive. He ends up winning with 119. King James Bible, 119. 1 + 1 + 9 is 11 in numerology. They stopped the 11-game losing streak, winning by 11. You add the 108 plus the 119, that's 227. 2 + 2 + 7 is 11. Couldn't have been scripted any better. And again, you'll see 112 a lot with the Magic if you pay attention. Great number with that franchise. Orlando Magic 112. Magic used to play for the Lakers. We know Kobe died 201 days from Magic Johnson's birthday and a mega 201 ritual. Last night, 201 combined points in the game. These things aren't an accident. It's a scripted league. And this was a very encouraging sign for LeBron to win last night. And Lakers were pretty much a lock to stay alive last night because they got their 303rd home win in the playoffs as a franchise. Denver's the 303 area code. Area codes rarely ever fail in the NBA. When there's it would be tricky if the Lakers had game 1 and game 2, right? Because they're like, oh, they can get the 303rd game in the first game. But once they don't get it in the first game, they're facing elimination. It's like, in all likelihood, they're picking up this 303rd win. The only way it would really make sense that they didn't is if they got eliminated, and then next year their first matchup in the playoffs is Denver, and they're getting the 303rd win then. But that's a big if, that they're going to get matched up against the same team. So last night made a lot of sense for the 303rd home win. Plus, we all know how much LA loves 13. Denver also likes 31 a bit. LA's 13. Denver's got the 31 connection. They fall to 3-1. LA gets to 1-3. But again, I just got to emphasize, sports are definitively scripted. I've done so many streams over the years and opened up the phone line for someone to call in and debate. Nobody wants to debate. My neighbor over here, for a year, he's been living by me, and I had not talked to him about what I do. But he started talking about the Dodgers the other night. And then he asked me who my team was, and I said, oh, I don't really have a team. He's like, why not? You don't have a team? I was like, well, not a big sports fan, but I said it's funny that I pretty much spend a lot of my time every day, though, covering sports. He's like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, well, I have a subscription service for. So anyway, him and I got into a long conversation. Ended up being about like literally we were outside like for 4 hours talking about sports. His mind was just blown. He's a Dodgers and a Tom Brady fan. So just imagine all that I had to share with him about the Dodgers and Tom Brady. He even knew that Tom Brady had. I said it was funny. I was talking about Tom Brady and all the 201s, and then before I even got to it, he's like, "Hey, Tom Brady had 201 passing yards in his last Super Bowl." When I was like, "You're definitely a Tom Brady fan to remember that." But no, had a great conversation. My neighbor was mind blowing. So he said he's going to sign up for the service. But anyway, yeah. Again, you present this information to people the right way. It really is undeniable, and the only people who can't come around to it are people that are just too short in the IQ department, and that is the bottom line. Just it's the absolute bottom line. And again, you guys learned some patterns. You can really have nice paydays. That Nationals team, they just they beat who did they just beat the last 2 days? They were supposed to or hold on. No, I know who they beat. They beat the Marlins. What am I doing? So the Nationals. Here, let me just show you the Nationals last 2 days. Just there's certain patterns you'll learn that are just great with teams historically year after year. And one of those patterns is Marlins in 86. Where's the Nationals at? See how the Nationals are 8-6 away? They came into this series 6-6 away. Big underdog in the first game of the series. They won to become 7-6 away. Yesterday, they weren't as big of an underdog. They were an underdog yesterday too, but the first game they were a big underdog. But back-to-back days, they win and they become 8-6 at the Marlins, you guys. I mean, if you'd been here for the decade we've been doing this, I mean, Marlins in 86 is just a pattern that there's been times where it hasn't hit, but in terms of percentages, it's hit at a very high percentage for a very long time. And also, the downside about sharing this knowledge with people is the more people learn about. I mean, you think about it. 2013, one person in the world was doing this, right? It was yours truly. 2014, there was still pretty much one person in the world doing this. By 2015, I had a guy reach out to me, and he wanted to go in business, and he wanted to start a website together and help me out and monetize it. Because you guys, for those of you who don't know, I didn't monetize this sports work until September of 2018 after helping people win a ton. But the guy who wanted to monetize in 2015, I didn't know who he was and I didn't want to work with him. And then what was funny is when I said no to him, then he started making videos trying to attack me and use that as like marketing to gain clout. But that's the way the world is, right? And he's always been shit. I'm talking about Gematria Club, which is a jack shit subscription service. If you want to lose a lot of money and get overcharged, you join Gematria Club, a bitter hater who copied me and then got mad because I wouldn't monetize with him. But yeah, that's Gematria Club, who's a whack-ass human being. But he was like the only other one decoding sports, and then he was the first to try to charge for it. By 2016, you had more people getting in. But the point is now it's 2024. You have like, there's probably over 100 people who've set up Patreons who are now doing sports decodes and trying to emulate my work and build on the work and add in their own niche thing. So here's the downside of that happening. I've never seen a year like this year with the Angels. You see how Angels equals 58? And you see how Los Angeles Angels equals 85, which is the reflection of 58, if I can spell it right here. See how it's got this 58-85 thing? Historically, when those numbers can come together in an Angels series, and sometimes you'll be looking at 2 games out, it'll be like a team comes in 3-8 in the series, 3-8 on the road or something. It's like, okay, they win the next 2, they're going to hit that 5-8 versus Angels. That pattern's been so good for all these years. So far this year, there's been 6 times where it came up with the Angels, and it is 0-4-6. So again, that's why I also teach people, that this knowledge, it's still good, but it's not as great as it used to be. And it seems like with each passing year, there's something that used to be great that falls off. For example, Houston in 31 has always been awesome. Like the other year when UConn won the Final Four in Houston, they were one of the teams we circled pre-tournament who had huge odds to win it. And then they had the huge 84 ritual in the opening round, and they looked even better. And they still had 20-1 odds after winning their first game. But when UConn won the championship in Houston, they got their 31st win. Last year in the NFL, and we're not used to losing to 31 in any sport. It's done well in all sports, except for last year in the NFL. Last year, the first 3 games where Houston 31 could hit, it missed in all three. And we're like, what is going on? And then it hit in the fourth game. So we ended up being 1-3 on the 31 Houston pattern. But yeah, this is the downside of the knowledge spreading and more people winning off this. I mean, the casinos have definitely taken note. Again, like I always say, USA Today wrote their article about me January 2016. Vice News wrote their article about me in 2017. And Sports Illustrated wrote an article at the same time as Vice News. And they did not name me, but it was obvious they were talking about me. And yeah, so we've been on the radar and the map for doing this for a long time. But again, I'd still encourage anyone to learn this knowledge and learn how to use it and find the patterns that are still smashing. And again, learn the trick of turning a $5 bill into a $50 bill, because you can do it quite often with this knowledge, taking advantage of the narratives. And again, the name of the game is making sure your research is sound. You're aware of what's on the board that day. Is there something special coming? Like here, I'll tell you a game that I missed with the Red Sox the other week that made me kick myself the rest of the day. And the piece of information I was missing is that it was Patriots Day. The Red Sox are playing a team that equals 107, and they could have become 10-7. And normally that's probably the way it would have gone. But it was Patriots Day in Boston, and I did not know it was Patriots Day in Boston. I overlooked that. And sure enough, the Red Sox in the first game of the day on Patriots Day lost and fell to 9-8. And if you guys are new here, back when Brady was on the Patriots, we used to talk about this number all the time. New England Patriots is 98. Tom Brady's 98. Wolverines is 98. You know, he's a Michigan Wolverine. Jim Harbaugh, Michigan Wolverines, 98. But again, learn the knowledge. Pay attention to the scripts, take advantage of the rig system. And yeah, here, by the way, the other day, the oversight that I had in this game, they've been syncing up LeBron and King Charles, and that's because the son of King James in history was King Charles. We thought, or my hunch was that all three home teams were actually going to win the day that LeBron lost, and home teams became 15-4. And you know, again, I am a human son. I've talked about King James and 154 plenty. So in my live stream that day, I should have mentioned how it could end up 15-4. But those games were exactly 163 days after King Charles' birthday. And that's what I was looking at, because they've been syncing up LeBron and King Charles. So I was like, look at that, you guys. If home teams win all three games tonight, home teams will be 16-3. Instead, you know, LeBron and the Lakers fell apart in the second half, and they made it 15-4. But then I immediately saw what the Dodgers did, and I was like, holy shit, it's the latest King James thing. And so that can happen too. I mean, when you have knowledge, and it's not like it was the end of the world. I mean, if you bet all three home teams, you had a winning day. You won 2 out of 3. But if you parlayed all three to win together, that was a kick in the nuts. And if you guys forgot, last year, LeBron and King Charles, again, it was one of the best documentations ever of just how scripted everything is. I'm going to write out Kentucky Derby here to make a point. Kentucky Derby, I want you to see that it's 56. And yes, this does connect to LeBron and the King. You see how Kentucky Derby is 56? You see how Royal Family is 56? Royal Family 56. Coronation is 56. King Charles' coronation last year was on May 6th, 5-6. And that day you had LeBron at home versus Curry in the playoffs. LeBron beat Curry and became 5-6 at home versus Curry all time. D'Angelo Russell, who's from Kentucky, got his 56th win with the Lakers that day. And Anthony Davis, who played at Kentucky, it was 56 days after his March 11th birthday. So you had all this 56 lined up for LeBron and Co to win. And also just lined up with them winning the series too, which they did. Then they lost to the Nuggets in the next round. But again, the last king of England died at age 56. And 56 is huge special number, as we know. But from that ritual to other things in between, they've been syncing up LeBron and Charles. So that's why my eyes got all big. I was like, ooh, if all three home teams win 16-3, 163 days after Charles' birthday. Sometimes you think you got it all figured out and you're like, oh shit, I forgot the classic 15-4 pattern. But like I said, if you win all 3 straight bets, you still had a winning day. The point is, you learn this knowledge, you use it well, you don't miss things that you should miss. So it can happen, right? Because you're looking at numbers. Like the other day, we were just killing the Mariners Rangers series. We were perfect, and you know what? We should have gone perfect through the whole series, but I made a screw up on the last day. You know, Texas has this 66 connection. It was like the Texas fell to 6-6 at home, and then the next day, well, here you see how Mariners has the 56. I'm trying to remember how it went. It went like Mariners became 5-6 on the road. Then the next day, Texas fell to 6-6 at home. I forget exactly. It must have been a little bit different, but it was something like that. But then on the last day, the Mariners could have also fallen to 6-6, and then I don't know, just somehow by that day I was just overlooking the Texas 66. But again, learn the numbers, what connect with the teams. You can just follow patterns through entire series in baseball, and you'll see how it'll go back and forth. You know, the other day, number I love in San Francisco. I remember the 49ers won the 50, or excuse me, San Francisco won the 75th NFL season. That's the year they beat the Chargers with 49 points in the Super Bowl. The San Francisco 49ers, that was the 75th season. And then the Warriors won the 75th anniversary season in a huge 75 ritual against Boston, getting to 7-5 in the finals all time and getting their 75th road win on Boston's court. And again, that was all set through the Pope that year. On the Pope's birthday, the Warriors won in Boston, dropping Boston to 7-5 at home. And remember, Golden State equals 175, and so does Pope Francis. And Celtics fell to 17-5 that year. And then Bill Russell went to Jesuit San Francisco University and played for the Celtics, died right after those finals on the last day of the Jesuitic Nation year, died on the 31st, which is the 11th prime, and he won 11 championships. But anyway, the Mets-Giants series, this is always a good number in San Francisco, 75. But you watched both teams become 7-5 home away in back-to-back days. So again, learn your gematria, pay attention to the series, follow series patterns. There might be, in a 3-game series, there might be 2 games where things really stand out. The third game, it might be like, I can't really see it in the third game. Oh, by the way, right after San Francisco became 7-5, then they fell to 7-6 as the Mets became 7-5 away. And San Francisco also has that 76 connection, and we know what they just did to O.J. Simpson from San Francisco at age 76. As the Masters were teeing off, Master is 76. Slave is 76 and 59. OJ died 59 days after the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 59's upcoming. Simpson is 105. It'll be the 105th NFL season. You see Reggie Bush get in the action. Reggie Bush, a Heisman winner from USC, gets his Heisman back by the numbers right after OJ dies. Reggie Bush is 56. OJ won the Heisman with USC 56 years ago. Reggie Bush played at New Orleans, who's hosting Super Bowl 59. All of these rituals going on right now are where the clues are for what's going to happen in the season ahead. So again, the world of sports, it's scripted, it's dark, it's demonic, there's ritual sacrifice involved. But yeah, you learn these numbers. You see every last little thing they're doing. Like again, Reggie Bush gets the Heisman back at age 39. You know, it's a Heisman number. So yeah, if you got here late, feel free to rewind, and I'm going to wrap it up. But one more thing I got to throw out there. Any of you guys having a nice weekend? Yesterday, nice payday. Remember, we got a decoder in the community. She's a woman. You know her from Crack Their Code. Her website is cracktheircode.org. Again, she's had a rough few months. She had an emergency medical problem, gave her some big bills, required surgery. Then her father got really sick out of nowhere. She was taking care of her father, and then he died from a heart attack. And now she's blown away by how much it costs for the whole funeral process. She had no idea that. And again, I mean, this is a wake-up call to a lot of Americans when they got to take care of their family members when they die. They've made everything so expensive, and now funerals are crazy expensive. So anyway, this woman, Amy, she's a good one. If you guys don't know her, check out her YouTube page, Crack Their Code. Just spell it all as one word, crack, like crack an egg, their THEIR code, CODE, Crack Their Code. That's her YouTube page. She does great work. Her website is the same thing, cracktheircode.org. She's been helping out for a long time, you guys, and she's just in a really bad spot. So again, you guys have a good payday. You feel like tipping yours truly, don't tip yours truly. Just help out our friend in the community, Amy, who does good work. And her Cash App is $Amy CTC. That's Charlie Tom Charlie Amy CTC. She has some big bills that are coming due May 2nd, which is just days away. And like I said, you know, I've been mentioning this in all the live streams I've been doing in recent days. Thousands of people will end up seeing these videos over the course of days. Like I've said, if everybody who came by just sent her $1, she'd have all of her bills taken care of and more. So that's the power of community and a small contribution from everybody. So yeah, if you can help out Amy, and you got a Cash App, I would appreciate it, and she would appreciate it even more. So I want to say thank you for that to all those who help out Amy. And shout out to Truth Matters 222. Amy, by the way, Amy, if you're out there listening, my man Eric down in Utah, he sent me $50 on PayPal for you. So I'll be sending you an additional $50. I'm just waiting to see if anybody else does what I didn't ask him to do that, but that was just, he said he didn't have Cash App, so he sent me the money through PayPal. So whatever you've earned so far, you've got at least another 50 coming. And if anybody doesn't have Cash App and you guys have my PayPal, if you wanted to do it that way, I'd rather you just send it directly to Amy. But if you wanted to send me a PayPal and write in there, hey, this is for Amy, I'll send her that money on Cash App. So that is an option. But yeah, I just feel better about if you send it to Amy. That way, there's no chance at any funny business. So, and shout out, you know what, Truth Matters 222. I'm going to put your 5 on Amy too. So I appreciate that. But he says, Zach, I like that you use the word scripted, not rigged, because it's completely scripted. Indeed, it is. And I use the word scripted because that's their language. You know, the scripture in the Bible. The sports announcer, they couldn't have scripted it any better. I mean, you watch a game, it's hard to get through the whole game without hearing the script commentary. It's just so common. So, all right. All right. And this is Amy right here. If you guys want to check out her channel, Crack Their Code. Yeah, you're welcome, Amy. Keep up the good work. And I hope some nice tips are coming in, some nice support, some help. And I didn't see if you responded to the last email I sent you, but I'll check. So if you want to let me know if we're getting any closer to the goal, might motivate a few more people to find $1. So I always love when the trolls come in and write the same spam over and over. No, we definitely didn't go 5-9 yesterday. Totally false. Enjoy the ban bin. All right. Again, when you guys come in and ask for sports picks, I know that you don't support the Patreon. Why don't you sign up for the Patreon? It's only $5 a month to get sports information every single day. It's the $11 tier if you want the live streams as well. We did a stream today. The notes have been out, so you come in and ask. Again, you guys, that's my perspective at this point. When you come in and ask for sports picks, I'm just like, what's wrong with this person? Well, like, are they retarded? I mean, literally, that's what I'm thinking. That might offend you, but that's literally what I'm thinking. Like, is this person a retard? Again, I give you guys enough free information on here. You want picks, support the work. I don't charge hardly anything. Coming in bag, it just looks pathetic. All right. We'll leave it there, you guys. Thanks to everyone who supports Amy, and until next time.